It's Money in the Bank live from London, and we open white hot with the men's Money in the Bank match. It's complete carnage, bodies flying everywhere. Everyone's risking it all for the case that basically grants you a championship in the future, including Logan Paul and Ricochet, who create yet another viral moment. From one ladder to the other, they leap off and collide, crashing to the canvas. They're both wiped out, and it gives the chance to Shinsuke Nakamura. He climbs to the top, he reaches up, he's got the case, but no. It's Bronson Reed, and he's not even in this match. He's so jealous that he didn't qualify that he's here to tear it apart. He throws Nakamura off the ladder and then sets him up on another one on the outside. And it's time for another viral moment. Reed wipes out Nakamura with a giant tsunami. But as he gets up, Santos Escobar cracks him with a chair. He lays out the dangerous Aussie. But you need eyes in the back of your head, because here comes Butch. He's just gonna fight anyone, and they start brawling all over ringside. The fists are flying, and Butch manages to get Santos stunned right over a pile of weaponry, and he takes his chance. He nails a bitter end. Butch now has his chance. He slides in the ring and he climbs. He reaches up for the case, but he's not quick enough. Damian Priest is there now, and he and Butch are brawling on top of the ladders. It's on a knife's edge, and surely the man to hang on will be Mr. Money in the Bank. Both Priest and Butch crash to the ground. They're both out. They roll out of the ring, and the place erupts because they know that LA Knight is going to climb. And he reaches the top. He's got his hand on the case. No! Logan Paul launches himself onto the ladder and starts climbing. The crowd can barely watch. Surely not this way. Logan has Knight teetering. He's inches away from knocking him off. It's almost game over. But Logan Paul finds out whose game it really is. It's LA Knight's game, and he fights back, knocks Logan off the ladder, and now it's time. The megastar is truly that. He is now Mr. Money in the Bank. LA Knight now has a bevy of options, a whole host of championships he could challenge for. And when he gets backstage, he's asked for his reaction, and he says, "Reaction? Nah. It's time for action. So I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be waiting. There's a hell of a lot of champions on this card tonight, and maybe there'll be a brand new one as well, with everybody saying, L.A. Knight. Knight sets the tone, and it's the whole roster that's on notice, and that very much includes the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, who has a big match with Riddle up next, and this one is white hot as well. Riddle, of course, nursing the leg injury after the assault from Gunther and Kaiser on Raw, is at a significant disadvantage, and Gunther, being cocky, has told Imperium to stay backstage, and he's going to handle Riddle one-on-one. And he works the leg over big time. He dominates Riddle. He locks in an ankle lock, and Riddle is so close to tapping. Riddle is screaming in pain, but he's a fighter, and he manages to escape somehow. He gets some separation, but he also gets a difference-making knee to Gunther's jaw, and it rocks the big Austrian. Riddle rallies, and he fires up. He's now looking like he could do the unthinkable. And as this happens, we see backstage Kaiser and Vinci on their way out, but they don't make it. Owens and Zayn are here, and they wipe them out. These two teams are fighting later on in the night for the tag team titles, but they can't wait. And with the coast seemingly clear, Riddle is lining up Gunther. We then see something unexpected. A masked individual gets on the apron. Riddle is so confused. And Gunther is up now, and he's distracting the referee. And Riddle, still focused on him, approaches. But he gets dropped by a headbutt, and this gives the opening to the ring general. He smashes him with a lariat, picks him up, and lands a devastating powerbomb. It's over. Gunther retains again. But who was it under the mask? Well, perhaps we'll find out later in the night when Imperium take on Owens and Zayn. But there's no rest for the wicked as we launch into the next big match, and that of course is Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the WWE Women's Championship. And with the added element of former Women's Champion Bianca Belair at ringside, this one gets heated fast. Charlotte and Asuka put on a wrestling clinic. They are toe-to-toe, blow for blow, incredibly even. They know each other so well that they manage to avoid the instant match-ending moves that each other possess. But it's only a matter of time before the match comes apart completely. On the outside, Charlotte looks for a spear on Asuka, but once again she moves. But this time Charlotte connects with Bianca. Asuka takes Charlotte, slams her head off the LED ring post, and this is where things get even more crazy because Asuka is lining up Charlotte, and as she gets to her feet, Asuka looks for the mist, but Charlotte moves and it gets Bianca instead. Unbelievable! Charlotte throws Asuka in the ring off the distraction. She lines her up and she nails her with a spear. But Flair isn't done. She locks in the figure eight. She's got it cinched in. And Asuka is gonna have to tap. She has no choice. She's got nowhere to go. No, it gets broken up by Bianca Belair, who has snapped. The match gets thrown out. She's covered in green mist, but she's seeing red. She destroys both women. KODs all round. She's seen and heard enough. She waited patiently, but this was too much. Belair stamps her authority and decimates them both. She leaves in a rage, leaving this issue far from over, but no question that a triple threat is in the future. But speaking of the future, a future champion is seen backstage again in LA Knight. And he crosses paths this time with US champion Austin Theory, and Theory says, "Congratulations, Knight. Hopefully you're half as successful as me." And LA Knight laughs it off and says, "Kid, get on the card and then we'll talk. I've got some pretty big fish to fry and you might be one of them, but you're not in the pan right now. But if it ever presents itself, make no mistake, I'll take what I want when I want, including your strap." And then Knight walks off, but as he does, he's confronted by another champion. "Knight, if you even consider for 1 second coming for me and my Intercontinental Championship, just know that you'll end up just like Riddle." Riddle, huh? Yeah, well, how about you riddle me this? Who the hell's under the mask? In fact, you know what? I don't even care because I know what's under the lid of this briefcase, and it's a contract for any championship at any time. And if you're the ring general, then that makes me the ring master, and I'll give you the stone cold facts. It's LA Knight's game, and you're just playing it. Yeah! It's going to be a fun ride with LA Knight holding all the cards in that briefcase, but we find out who will hold the other one as the women's Money in the Bank match provides just as much chaos as the men's. Bodies flying everywhere, high risk for an extremely high reward. But not surprisingly, there's some teaming in this one. Friends Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus team up to neutralize their enemy Becky Lynch, who they've been at war with. Becky gets driven right through the announce table. But they aren't the only team in this match, and we get a face-off in the ring between Damage Control and the two women who just did all the damage to Becky Lynch. All four spill to all corners of the ring in a wild brawl. They've forgotten all about the prize, but one person hasn't. Zelina Vega has so wisely positioned herself outside of the limelight, but she is about to try and thrust herself directly back into it. She climbs the ladder, and she's about to grab the case, but Io Sky sees. She sprints back in the ring, scales the ladder, and stops Zelina in her tracks. They're both fighting, and it's incredibly precarious. And with Bayley dismantling both Trish and Zoe Stark on the outside, she gets in the ring to help. It's then though, Zelina flings Io off the ladder, but she corrects and inadvertently moonsaults directly onto Bayley. Zelina is in the clear. She can win it. She reaches up. She grabs the case. No, Becky Lynch has somehow recovered. She stopped Vega in her tracks, and she manages to wipe her out of commission now. The man has come around. She scales the ladder, but Trish isn't gonna let this go down. She fights her way back up, and now they are both face to face on top, and they are trading. Becky goes for broke. She grabs Trish, and she delivers a manhandle slam, and they both crash and burn. And now, on the outside of the ring, we see Bayley arguing with Io. She's screaming at her for landing on her. But the argument quickly stops when they both notice that the ladder is still set up. They both slide in the ring, and they climb together. And when they reach the top, Bayley says, "Your time will come, Io, but this is my time." Sky finally snaps. She's finally had enough of Bayley. She shoves her off the ladder, and the genius of the Sky reaches for the Sky and wins. She takes her opportunity. She seizes control. But if you want to talk about control, you have to be talking about Imperium when they try to take control of the tag team championships. And with Kevin Owens' recent anger issues, it's unsurprising to see this one get off to a fast start with Owens at the forefront. But Kaiser and Vinci are no pushovers. They give it all back tenfold. And the match is incredibly even, but because of this, we see the ring general, who is growing concerned, walk out. Of course, he's backed by the mysterious masked individual. However, they aren't alone for long because here comes Riddle steaming out from the back. He wants to fight them both, but it's 2-on-1, and he gets dismantled by Gunther and the Mystery Man. But this is enough of a distraction that Owens can chop block Vinci, who had that very ankle injured by Riddle previously. Zayn is able to take out Kaiser on the other side, and it opens the door for Kevin Owens to hit a stunner and get the win. But there is no celebration. Gunther and the Mystery Man hit the ring and beat them both down. Zayn is wiped out. Owens is wiped out. But as the two leave the ring, 2 becomes 4 on the ramp. And we find out who was under the mask. Imperium is whole once again. Alexander Wolf is back. This is a terrifying sight for the whole roster. A real message sent by the dangerous Europeans. And another European who is desperate to send a message is the one and only Finn Balor. He's up next to deliver a receipt 7 years in the making to Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the match is absolutely as brutal as you'd expect. Finn has told Judgment Day to stay out of it and that he needs to do this for himself. And do this for himself, he certainly does. He brings back that Finn Balor. The Finn Balor that defeated Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship 7 years ago. He overwhelms Rollins, who is still feeling the effects of his assault a couple of weeks ago. And Balor throughout the match looks for multiple coup de grace, but Seth Rollins knows how imperative it is that he avoids that at all costs on those ribs. The failed attempts don't stop Balor though. He slams Rollins off every surface he can find, and he gets him down on the outside, and decides that he wants to attempt the ultimate coup de grace. He goes to the very top. Balor leaps off, but Rollins moves, and little did Balor know, Rollins had a chair underneath him, and Balor landed on the steel and twisted his ankle. Not another injury in another big match. Rollins grabs him, throws him in the ring, quickly goes to the top. He nails him with a Phoenix Splash. This has got to be it. 1, 2, no! Balor kicks. Rollins has to show no mercy though. He goes to the top again, and he looks for another, but Balor keeps up this time. He tosses Rollins off the top rope, and then he hits a sling blade, and now Balor hobbles over to the corner, climbs again. This has to be the time. He leaps off, but no, Rollins moved again. Balor can't even put any weight on the ankle now, and Rollins takes his chance, hits a curb stomp, and survives. But he doesn't even get a chance to celebrate. It's been a real theme tonight. He gets beaten down by Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. They're ruthless, but conspicuous in his absence is Damian Priest. But they hammer away on him regardless. It's unrelenting, and he's completely obliterated. It's the new Mr. Money in the Bank! Surely not this way. Rhea and Dominic are still hammering away on Rollins, but now Balor has even joined in as well. This is the perfect opportunity for Knight. He's going to cash in on the same night he won the case. The American Nightmare is here. He's had issues with Judgment Day, and he sprints out for the save. He nails Balor with a crossroads on the outside. He slides to the ring and chases Rhea out of it. But from behind then, he gets a cheap shot from Dominic, his opponent in the very next match. And in the madness of it all, LA Knight has decided that this isn't his time. He leaves for backstage. But back in the ring though, Rhodes is trying to get to his feet, and when he does, the bell rings and Dominic jumps all over him. He's gotten the perfect start, even if it was a cheap one. And even with Finn Balor in the wars and having to limp backstage for treatment, and Damian being MIA, Mami is still there for Dom Dom. And she causes havoc. Every time the referee's back is turned, Rhea Ripley is there for some kind of cheap shot. Cody is on the ropes. He's struggling with what is essentially 2-on-1, but someone has seen enough. Natalya sprints out and her and Rhea Ripley get into it on the outside and then eventually all the way through the crowd. And now Dominic is panicking. He's looking out into the crowd. He's hoping for Mami to come back, but she's gone. And Rhodes is ready. And he pounces. He nails a crossroads on Dominic and he picks up the win. The moment it became 1-on-1, Dominic was done for. And Cody laps up the crowd in London. It's another step in his journey to finish the story. Brock Lesnar! He did show up! And he's calling Rhodes on for a fight! The crowd is going berserk! And of course, Rhodes is more than happy to oblige. He heads down the ramp and the brawl is on, but it quickly gets broken up by security and staff. The next time these two men meet will be an all-out war. But will it be as violent as Civil War, which is your main event of the evening? And it couldn't be more personal. It's blood versus blood. The island of relevancy has 2 less inhabitants, and now they're storming the beach to try and burn it to the ground. And it's an emotional battle. Everything that was boiling just underneath the surface has exploded, and Roman is even more uncompromising than usual. He really makes Jay pay for turning down the chance to be the tribal chief in the future. He really makes Jimmy pay as well for being the first one to stray, for leading his brother away from the bloodline as well. And Solo, he is clearly still under the influence of the tribal chief, and he puts a beating on both of his brothers as well. But this is the Usos, one of, if not the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. Driven by passion and personal pride, they fight all the way back. They get all their punishment in too, all their frustration for all the years of gaslighting and manipulation that Roman has put them through. It truly is civil war. But in the latter stages, it all gets too much. Solo is manhandling Jimmy in the ring. Roman is destroying Jay on the outside. And someone from the family has seen enough. Rikishi gets in the ring and he's screaming at Solo to stop, and he says, "This is your brother. I am your father. Why are you doing this to the family?" And then Roman gets in the ring and says, "This isn't your fight. You stay out of it." "Not my fight! These are my sons! And you think this isn't about me? This is me! These boys are me!" Solo, put him down. I said, Solo, handle him. Fine, I'll do it myself. Solo drops the tribal chief. He steps in for his real blood, his father and his brothers. It's high emotion, high drama. And as Rikishi leaves the ring with Solo, Jay is the legal man and he has his opportunity, the ultimate revenge. He's gonna go to the top, and he's gonna land a splash that ends it all. Heyman, the last man standing beside the tribal chief. He would rather a disqualification than see Roman Reigns pinned. But the wise man meets a bad man. Rikishi lays out Heyman with, yes, a Samoan spike. Rikishi and his boys leave, and as they stand on the entranceway, they look back at the island of relevancy, which shows a man without a family, a Roman with no empire, a chief without a tribe. And if you like this video, check out this one next.